Oh, I've had plenty of those, Ben. Plenty of those.
Wow, so many.
Ooh, worst ever moment.
Genuinely, every time I lose, that's a terrible moment. Terrible moment. And it hurts just as much now as it did when I was 15, 16.
I wasn't really that gutted about it at the time, but I guess losing to Rob in the semi-finals of the British, I think I was too love up maybe.
Losing the French doubles last year was tough. That was the first loss in probably near 15 years in the ladies' game.
Like up in the fourth, like relatively comfortably, or scoreline, comfortable. And the fifth, I think I lost 6-5 in the fifth.
But we learn from it, and if it's every 15 years, that's okay.
I kind of dealt with it fine at the time, but I guess looking back, that was a bit of a stinker.
I can remember losing to Cam for the first time.
The loss against Kate Leeming a couple of years ago.
European Open, Lords, yeah. Served the second serve double fault bobble to go 4-all deep in the match, and that was expensive.
I walked off court and just thought, I've got absolutely no idea what I'm doing, and that kind of spurred on the motivation for me to work with Chappie over the last few years, and since then, I've gotten the results I've been wanting to get, and and it's sort of motivated me to keep going in this game.
2 back-to-back matches, day-wise, in Melbourne last year.
Losing to Leon 6-5, 6-5, 6-5 in the US Pro, having set points in every set.
I lost to Freddie Bristow 6-love, 6-love quite easily. He was unwell, and I still couldn't get a game, which made my win against him most recently memorable for sure.
That was a dark day. Look, I get over it by laughing about it now, giving Leon a bit of chat on court about it. But yeah, oh my God. I was saying to the boys just then, if that's as bad as it gets, fine by me.
And then followed on by losing to Eric Barker 6-1, 6-love the next day. Wasn't my finest tennis.
I think getting injured whilst playing tennis is not much fun.
Worst ever moment was probably rolling my ankle in silver racket.
I ended up one time playing Darren Long at the Oratory. There was a ball was going towards my knee, and I sort of jolted out the way and ended up tearing a ligament in my knee.
Playing Zak in the final, lost the first set, was starting to come back in the second, and then completely went over on my ankle and tore a ligament. So yeah, that was pretty tough to take that one.
Fell to the floor in a lot of pain. I think that's probably the worst moment on court, sadly.
My worst ever moment when I was working at Radley, I was already quite injured, and I had to play. We played the internationals, really nice tournament at Petworth, top 8 players.
I broke my right hand in the US Open doubles final last year. That wasn't great.
I was first seed, Tara second seed, and I managed to get to the finals, but I just collapsed, cried, couldn't. So at that stage, I decided that I really need to have an operation and stop the game for a couple of years.
But yeah, that's probably the first one that comes to mind. Didn't realise it happened though. Just kept playing.
But I'm back. And I never thought that I would be back on court.
Yeah, there's one US Open, so I go to Boston. I can't remember the year now. I was not in a great mood or, physically stayed going into the tournament.
Well, on the tennis court, it would have been the World Doubles Championships in Bordeaux.
I catch a cold getting there, so I stay in bed for my first 2 days of practice, and then I'm up against T&RA. I believe it's like semi-final. And literally on the third point, I twist my ankle really, really bad.
Playing in front of a great crowd, Rob and I, against Steve and John, and tearing my hamstring in the second set of a best of 9 set match.
So that was end of the tournament, after 10 minutes of play pretty much. And I remember it being such a hassle getting back on the plane, and they wouldn't let me on the plane because my ankle was so swollen and there was a risk of blood clot and whatever.
Really sucked, and I basically had to hide in a corner and let Rob do everything, knowing that we had no chance. I mean, Steve and John, incredible players, and you need, especially both your legs working.
And that was such, having traveled halfway across the world to play 10 minutes of tennis, getting injured and back. Yeah, that was a pretty low point.
Again, unfortunately for Bordeaux, is moving to Bordeaux, so it's technically not on the court, but arriving there to start a new club. And with a week of arriving, France went into another sort of COVID lockdown where they stopped allowing indoor sports. So around, I think, worst moments, I think end of 13, 14, when I kind of lost my way, lost my love for the game. And it progressively got worse from there to within 2 months later that everything shut down. And I'd already done a lockdown, 7 months before back in America. So yeah, that wasn't fun. Just because of the fact I was in such a bad place mentally, and like I was playing matches and it didn't matter whether I won or lost, I was just like not happy anymore. So kind of, yeah, around that period, unfortunately.
I think it kind of sucks when you struggle to get up for a match. I think, like, for me, if you're up for a match and you feel like you've been giving it your all and you lose, it's part of the game.
It wouldn't be one particular moment or match, but like anyone else, and I'm sure members and pros can appreciate this, when you're out there and you're not enjoying it, it's pretty tough.
But when you go out there and you feel like your head's not really in it and you come off court and you've just not been able to concentrate, I think that kind of sucks.
And at times it's been mentally challenging to kind of enjoy the tennis out there. So that feeling, that's kind of my worst real tennis memory.
Just when I lose my head, I got the nickname of Princess for a reason. So I don't like the princess moments that I have on court.
Playing Robert Shenkman in the British under-21s or something like that.
Probably the pro singles. We can, people can watch that one back.
And I remember getting so angry that I had braces at the time, so like metal train tracks, and I just missed a volley and got so frustrated and clenched my jaw, and my braces just exploded.
I lost my cool in that match. I don't know what year it was. It was against Darren in the satellite final. That's a memorable one for me.
And they just went ping, ping, ping all around the court, and I had to go and pick them up, and everyone stood there watching me thinking, this is awkward. That was pretty bad. And then I obviously had to go and get them fixed, and it's embarrassing more than anything.